Hello, Costume One. Hello, Costume One. Hello, Axolotl. Hello, welcome. I'm starting a tiny bit early because it's for fun. Very abstract, kind of. First times. Let's Mr. Bosco. Hello, welcome. Hello, nice to meet you. It says you're a first-time chatter, so welcome to the stream. Isaac, hello, Mount Laurel. X's and O's. Thank you for the X's and O's. Found you from TikTok. Oh, I'm glad you found me from TikTok. That's where most people find me, honestly. I'm glad you came over here to check me out. It's nice to have more space sometimes. Like, look, I can go over here and over here. I have so much space that I don't know what to do with all of it. Hello to hello Mount Laurel again. Jacoby, hello, welcome. Joshua, hello. First time chatter too, Joshua. Are you from TikTok as well? If you, regardless of where you're from, welcome, welcome. And Small's here. Hello, wonderful fair. I'm changing your words, Small. Hello, wonderful fair. Hello, Small. Tammy Beans. I'm on a laptop in the city. I'm ready to win. Tammy Beans, I saw you like follow me when I was getting ready to stream. Did you have to re-follow me on a separate account or something? Hi, sweetie. Hello, Just for J. Hello, Michelle Afrez. Hello, welcome. I'm not rude, Small. Let's see, Anastasia Rose. Hello as well. I remember you as well. I usually pause to read longer names sometimes. Hello, Unknown Muse. Hello, Lord Ziggbee. Thank you, Muse. And thank you, Muse, for finding information about the coding stuff in VR chat. It was very nice of you to look that up and try to find some information. Soul's here too. Hello, Soul. You giving me sniffs? Don't sniff me too much. I don't know if I stink or not. But thank you, Soul. Thank you. New introduction. Hello, it's me. Oh my gosh, I can't read that. Kaloquitu. I can't read your name though. I'm sorry. But thank you for being here. If you're new here and stuff. Let's see here. Sandman's here. Yeah, I'm a little bit early, Sandman. I got bored of waiting on us.
Subscribed for 26 months. It is hot today and I'm very excited to watch the stream in front of the air conditioner. My building at work was 83 today.
Oh no, 83 is they should let you go home. I'm glad they can you're being in front of the AC. Thank you, Petrie Rack, for resubscribing 1 month tier 1 and being subscribed for 26 months. I'm glad you're trying to stay cool being close to the AC. Hope it cools you off and stuff. AC is such a wonderful luxury to have during the summer. Sometimes, depending where you live, it can be super expensive for the electricity and stuff. A Costumed One, thank you for the giving out a gifted sub. Thank you so much, and being a big Bean community supporter. You gave it to Alex Yin. Is Alex Yin here? Possibly. I can't see sometimes when people are here and stuff. That's so nice of you, Costume One, to give the Alex Yin a subscription too. Sandman, I tried to review your video you showed me about the ad things popping up. I don't think I look at the moderation panel. So it is activated, whatever that is. So I'm not sure if it works or not. So I have no idea. I looked at the video you sent to TikTok and I looked at the setting and the setting is enabled. Almost 30 months. Next milestone is 48. Oh my gosh.
Underscore just resubscribed for 28 months. Almost 30 months.
Oh my gosh.
Next milestone is 48.
28 months, almost 30 months. Thank you, tier 2 too. Why do you do the fancy? You've been a fancy tier 2 for like a very long time. Thank you, Sandman, for being 1 month tier 2 subscriber for 28 months. Thank you so much, Sandman, for being a long-term OG Sugar Bean supporter for so long too. I really appreciate it. I hope you're doing good. You still need to give me the phone number to your boss so I can ask your boss to give you more paid time off and stuff. I don't know if your boss will listen to a Talking Ferret that streams, but maybe. You never know unless you try, right? You gotta try things sometimes. Hello, Teen Bean. Hello, welcome. Strawberries here. Hello, Strawberries. Welcome.
Costumed one gifted a
We'll see
Atreyu 11217
about the ad
subscription.
thing.
Costumed one gifted a tier 1 sub to Atreyu 11217.
Oh my gosh, oh, that's so sweet, Costume One. Costume One, you don't do that, but thank you, it says Costume One. That's very nice and sweet of you to support the beans in here, so don't look at ads, because TikTok like forcibly enforces ads, I guess now. I don't know. Well, they always kind of did that though, really. Thank you, Costume One, for another gifted community sub, and gifting many subs to. Oh, do I have to? I'm embarrassed to say how many. So many, Costume One. You did 211. That's a lot of subs you gifted. That's big. That's big. Thank you, Costume One. Unamused. You don't. Okay, everyone stop that.
Unknown_Muse gifted Strawberry Wine 68 to subscription. Unknown_Muse gifted a tier 1 sub to Strawberry Wine 68. They have given
Thank you.
270 gift subs in the channel.
Oh my gosh, Unknown Muse is flexing. 270? Unknown Muse, how did you get under the rate? I didn't realize you gave so many subscriptions too. That's 270. How did you do that so fast? Oh my gosh, that's too many though. That's way too many. Thank you, Unknown Muse as well, being an OG Big Bean community supporter too. And Sugar Bean, obviously. You're definitely in the ranks of Sugar Bean. Costume One OG, what? I have to catch up. No, Costume One, it's not a competition.
The _Sandman_ just gifted 1 subs.
Hello, Zazzy Ferret. Paige Mustang too. Hello, Paige Mustang. Good to see you as well. Shroom Boom. Hello, Shroomer Boomer. I wanted to say Zazzy Ferret. Zazzy Ferret, you're not allowed anymore. Can I even say this? Is kind of bold. If I'm too rude, you can tell me, okay? Oh my gosh, Costume One got activated. No, Costume One. Oh my gosh, there it goes too.
Costumer Done just gifted 5 subs.
You're not flexing on purpose. No, don't worry, I know Unknown Muse. That was just coincidental. I saw that right next to it and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize you gave so many gifted subs too. Thank you, Costume One, for the 5 gifted community subscriptions. I swear I'm not trying to encourage you to throw gifts at me, I promise. Thank you, Costume One, for the 5 gifted community subs. It's so generous and being a big bean community supporter, Sugar Bean, and giving 5. So let's see who you gave it to, out of curiosity. Anna, I can't read some of these names. Metatunes, Bren, Bama, Miss Ruby, Teen Bean 6, and Daketh, if I'm saying that right. If I say your name wrong, I apologize about that. I love spamming emojis. You can spam emojis, Zazzy Ferret, because they pop up all over the screen and I like it. It's fun. You should do it. Don't be afraid to spam emojis. There's no issue with that. Hello, everyone. Hello, Grumpy Lycan's here too. Grumpy Lycan, hello. I just want to talk to all of you one-on-one. Tell me about your life. Tell me everything. No. Is that an invasion of privacy? Miss Jenna Snakehole, I hope everyone had a great day. I'm having a good day now, thank you. I had a salad and a sandwich and some drink, and now I'm here with you streaming on Twitch, which is very nice. So I'm having a great day. Yes, I hope everyone else is having a good day too. What are you doing? Shroomer Boomer, you mean what am I doing today? Today I'm gonna show some fan art, and we'll play Pictionary, and probably after that, I'll probably goof off for a little bit and play like a VR chat game I saw. It's like a tower defense game. I might try it a little bit idly for fun. Are you a drink goblin yet? Not quite. Most drinks I usually have is 2. I don't think that qualifies me as an actual drink goblin, because I think Tatum Pancake says 3, I think is the minimum. Well, they didn't explicitly say that, but I think Tatum Pancake, also a bean here in the bean community, takes, oh my gosh, what is that? 3, oh my gosh. What are you doing, Tammy? You did that yesterday. Okay, I'm sorry. I gotta just be thankful and just accept it. Thank you, Tamma Beans. Thank you, Tamma Beans, for the very generous direct tip thrown at me. Thank you, Tammy Beans. That's very extremely generous of you to gift me that. That's very kind. I don't know what that equates to on TikTok. TikTok. I was gonna say TikTok. On Twitch, what does that equate to? I don't know, but that's a lot. Thank you, Tammy Beans, for the very huge direct tip. Thank you, Tammy Beans. Thank you. So sweet. What was I talking about? I completely lost my train of thought. I do what I want. Okay, I know, Tammy. I'm just saying. You're overly generous, though. But thank you, Tammy Beans. That's very sweet of you. Thank you. Unknown. It's right next to the reply button. What is? I missed something. Muse keeps spinning things by accident. Pinning. Oh, pinning things by accident. That's okay. I don't know what that does. You can pin things in Twitch. I didn't realize you could do that here. This is the best community ever. Hugs. Thank you, Mount Laurel. It really is. It's all thanks to all of you that are being nice to each other. Then again, I'm pretty aggressive at booting people out sometimes. Well, actually, I haven't had to boot anybody out for a long time. It sounds terrible. It sounds terrible. Because we used to get some trolls in the past, a little tiny bit, a couple. But we have a pretty locked down pretty much now, thanks to like things like Sandman giving me stuff for Discord to prevent spamming certain things. Custom, I said that at work today. I do what I want.
Just resubscribed for 16 months. Yay.
Yay! Thank you, Noah, for resubscribing with Prime and being subscribed for 16 long months. I also see I missed one here too. How did I miss that one? Mr. Lemon Panda. Thank you for the 3 months at tier 1. Did you just like pick 3 months at one whole thing? One shebang? Thank you for the 3-month tier 1 subscription. Mr. Lemon Panda. Mr. Lemon Panda. Oh, I can see a character that'd be really cute like that. Like it would be a panda with lemon colors like yellow and white, and maybe a lemon symbol somewhere. we kick them away. Yes, we do, Sam. We really do. My Discord's really good at booting stuff. Jawless foil. Oh my gosh, I'll put this farther off. Wants me to do boops. I will do boops. Jawless Foil. Welcome, Jawless Foil. Hope you're doing good. It's good to see you. I'll give you a boops. Boop, 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 boop. And you remember me boops too if you want. I'm getting really close. Is that okay? You can give me boops if you want. Boop, boop. Thank you. Thank you for the boops. Yeet? I don't have anything to yeet here. Small says yeet. You're kicking the stars, Sandman. Zazzy Ferret. I was gonna say something to Zazzy Ferret. Yes, they get yeeted. Yeah, we do yeet them. Yes, very much so. Because there's no reason to have them around that they're gonna be trolling lemon flavored panda. Oh, but Zazzy Ferret, thank you for posting the TikTok with it was a meetup from a long time ago and it has your voice on it. You're way too critical of your voice. You're not allowed to say you don't have a good voice. Because you keep saying that it's not true. It's not completely untrue. Your voice is adorable and comforting, Zazzy Ferret. You complain about your own voice supposedly, but my voice, I ramble, I mumble, I slur, I say incoherent things very often. I probably have a gay slur to my words sometimes. I don't know, but your voice is awesome, Zazzy Ferret. I hope if you upload more TikToks and stuff, you use your actual voice because it's awesome. It's a very comforting voice, like perfect for like ASMR or just talking. People like to listen to it. So that was my rant for today. We hid in the toilet? Yes. That was a long time ago too. I smell a hypocrite. Who's a hypocrite, Small? Are you talking about what? You talking about what? Skylo Sky, Fox Noise and Ziggbee. How did I get my fan art in time? I tried to post it last night, but totally forgot. So I tried to do it this morning. I saw that at first I was confused, like if you want me to post it next week, but after I reread your message, you said you'd be here not next week. So I did put it in here. Let me show the fan art then. I'll do that right now. Let's do that right now. Let's do that right now, because you're here and other people are here too. Whoa, I can't read very fast. Facts, Zazzy has a good voice. Yes, thank you, Soul. Zazzy's just being too critical. I'm not sure. Zazzy, who hurt you? Zazzy, who hurt you and made you think you have not a good voice? Hopefully it wasn't yourself. If it was yourself, don't believe it. It's not true. It's lies. Your voice is good. Sorry. That was too cute, Zazzy. Ziggbee and you hid in the toilet. Okay, let's not talk about the toilet anymore because it's kind of weird. No, just kidding. I did do it though. Zazzy Ferret, I think Small was in there too. I remember that toilet. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's inspired my mean art. No, it wasn't mean art, Tammy. I was just being joking. I didn't actually thought it was really mean. I'm sorry if I made you feel bad about that at all, Tammy Beans. Even Solar says even if it's from someone else, also don't believe it. That's true. That is true. If someone's telling you negative things from someone else, or yourself is telling that, do not believe it. It's not true. Sometimes we are our worst critics, and people can also be worst critics too. Sorry, let's show art though. I'm gonna show the fan art. Well, first, before I show fan art, I want to give a thank you to Tammy Beans. Tammy sent some marshmallows, and I tried the confetti. What flavor is it? Confetti. It's party time. It has little dots of colored stuff in it, and it tasted pretty good. It's like a marshmallow. A marshmallow with little pieces of colored rainbow, like the sprinkles things. And Sip tried some of that one, and also tried some of the vanilla. He said it tasted pretty good. It tastes like marshmallow. We didn't eat the other ones yet though. But thank you, Tammy Beans, for sending that to me. I love little treats. Little treats are nice. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's very kind of you, Tammy Beans. LOL, I got over it. Propaganda. Oh wait, what am I missing here? So cute. But yeah, there's like 4 flavors. There was like cotton candy, vanilla, cookies and cream, and funfetti. Gosh, it makes me want to eat more snacks. I can't be eating too many snacks though, not too many sweet snacks. But yes, it was very good. Thank you, Tammy Beans, for that. It's very sweet to give little things in the PO box. Next, we're gonna do fan art. First, I'll show you. This is from Ghost Wolf, which I think is someone fairly new in the community that found me on TikTok, I think, and then offered to do fan art. And they were kind enough to join the Discord and posted in the Discord, and it's beautiful and gorgeous and very stylized, and it looks like it's a gorgeous illustration. So thank you, Ghost Wolfie, for even considering doing fan art of me and sharing it on Discord. And I hope you enjoy the content and stuff. Thank you, Ghost Wolf. Wolfie! It's very impressive. It's very cute and adorable. Last but not least, this is a dress. Wait, what? Oh, yes, it is. I love this picture so it is really cool. No, you, Zazzy. Are you fighting with Zazzy in chat right now? Yeah, Zazzy, you're being resistant. I always know it's you. You have the cutest avatar, Small. Yeah, Small does have a pretty cute avatar. Last but not least, it's Sky's. Sky, that's your art, your fan art you submitted, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. You're going to a wedding next week. That sounds very exciting. I hope you have some fun with that. Those could be a really fun events, especially the food. Mainly the food. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking. But you did like kind of like the theme of going to a wedding. Like there, I am in the upper left-hand corner with like a bow tie. And some cute things in my my hair. It looks like possibly like some flowers. Those are very cute. And also Sib is there with a bow tie, being dapper, being very dapper. And you're there too, with a beautiful like flower crown almost. That's very cute, Sky. Thank you for making this and sharing it on Discord and letting me share it on stream. I hope you have a great time when you go to the wedding and stuff. Sky, you still here? Hope Sky's here and saw that stuff. Evil Strawberry, what are you? What even kind of question is that? Adorable. Yeah, it's pretty adorable. Thank you again, Sky. Thank you, Sky, for submitting fan art too. It's always so kind when people want to do fan art because it takes work and time to do that and then share it and stuff, and then it's a lot of work to draw. It's very hard. Ask Solar. Actually, Solar makes it look easy, honestly, but then again, Solar probably has years of experience drawing. Adorable. I smell a troll. Possibly Tammy Beans. Evil Strawberry, are you a troll? We're pretty good at smelling out trolls. Let me smell. Troll sniffs. I do have years of experience. Thank you. There you go. You do. Because yeah, I think sometimes artists get offended if you say, "Oh, you're so talented. You're so talented," and that kind of takes out it suggests that it's just natural, when in fact it takes practice, a great deal of practice to get good at things. It doesn't just happen effortlessly. It takes a lot of work and practice over a long time. Wait, what? I got hungry for a Soul's art. Small, you gotta stop devouring everything. You try to eat the stars and suns and I guess art now. You consume art now. That's too much. That's too much. Soul's art is amazing. Yeah, it is. I love Soul's art very much so. Even Soul's like doodles. Whenever Soul does doodles on their stream, or I get to see their doodles or little drawings, are really cute and adorable and well done, I think. It's good. Yes, it is good. I'm eating pizza. Oh, man, that sounds wonderful. You want me to tell you a sad story? Not a sad story. Listen, pizza is delicious. You know, last night, let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about my problems, okay? You're all gonna be my, I'm gonna tell you my problems, all right? Last night, Sib and I were hungry. And we're like, should we get pizza? We got pizza. And sometimes pizza places have things like dessert things like brownies or cookies and stuff. So I got pepperoni pizza and some brownies. And I was thinking to myself, I probably shouldn't eat this stuff.
Touching Pancakes just resubscribed for 27 months. I'm late, but I'm here.
Tatum Pancakes, thank you for the 27 months for being subscribed on here on Twitch. And it's okay you're being late. I was talking trash about you. I was spilling tea that you're a drink goblin. You have to have 3 drinks, right, to be a drink goblin? I think so, at least. I have only 2, so I'm like a low level drink goblin. But yeah, I had pizza last night and then I ate some brownies too, and I did not feel good. My body was like aching. I don't think you're supposed to eat something and feel achy. That's probably a really bad sign, honestly. I think it's the sugar. I haven't been taking a lot of sugar lately, and then I ate some brownies that had a lot of sugar in it, so it probably messed my body up a little bit. So yeah, that was fun. So lesson learned. I should continue to eat raw good foods instead of dangerous processed, dangerous sugar-filled foods. Worth it though? Wait, what's worth it? It wasn't worth it. Well, at the time it did taste really good, but yeah. It's, yes, 3 minima. So it has been confirmed with Tatum Pancakes, if you were a drink goblin, you need at least 3 drinks. I have never gotten that high. The highest I've ever gotten is 2 drinks, but never 3. Because typically, oh, you actually said your drink combination too. 1 drink for energy, 1 drink for hydration, and 1 drink for fun. I love that. The most I ever do is, since I try to not drink as much soda anymore, but I used to have like ice water and then soda. So I would sip the water and be like, delicious hydration, clean, clear, crystal clear water, delicious. And I'll sip some soda and be like, strong, sugary drink, yum, 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 yum. And then I would clean my palate again with a drink of water, go back and forth. Is that similar? Tatum Pancake, is that what you did? You go back and forth tasting? Or is there a sequence you follow or try to follow? Because I would go back and forth when I had 2 drinks. Tatum, my friend does 4. That's a higher level drink goblin. That's 4. That's very impressive, actually. I don't know how you can do 4. Some people need some more energy. I love sweet tea. Paige Mustang, are you from the Midwest? Your sweet tea? Sweet tea is good though. Sweet tea is good. I probably can't eat it so much, but it is good. Yes, it's my. Oh, Sky says yes, it's my sister's wedding, and I'm in the very. Oh, I can't come back. I can move on. I'm sorry, I'm freaking out. Yes, it's my sister's wedding, and I'm in the. And in it, I'm very proud of her, and don't think I'll have enough internet to be able to watch next week's. Well, I can't read. Be on Twitch next week, but I'll see you. Oh, no worries, Sky, and thank you. Have fun. I hope you have lots of fun going and seeing family and stuff and doing the wedding. That sounds really awesome. Lolly Loki, can I have beans, please? I missed that part too. Old boy says no. Wait, what? I like need help reading my chat. I will give you beans. Here you go. Here's some beans. They're kind of wiggly though, so sometimes I can't help but wiggle them. There you go. Miss Janet Snakehole says 4. Coffee, smoothie, bubbly drink, and water. That's so impressive. I couldn't. Yeah, the most I can ever do is 2. I guess I'm not a drink goblin. I can only do 2. Beyond that, it's like I don't know what to do with all of them. The reason I like ice water in a drink though is because in the old days, I don't know if everyone remembers the old days. In the old days in restaurants and stuff, if you go places, they would typically have a glass of ice water available when you first sit down at a table. And then you would ask for your drink when you sat down and decide what you want to eat. And I was always thought that was like super fancy because I didn't go to restaurants super often. So I thought it was super fancy in the past. And then in California, for example, they had droughts. So then they stopped doing that. And it was like, I missed that, that luxury of having that extra drink, basically. Tatum pancakes. Ooh, I like to get your greens as well as the rest of the drinks. Wait, what? What? The old days, Tammy. Yes, the old days. I don't think restaurants do that anymore. We have to ask for water in Arizona. Yeah, see, there's an example. Arizona probably doesn't have great water. California doesn't have great water. You got to ask for it. They're trying to conserve and stuff, or conserve water. What is it called? What is it called? It's not called conserve. Is it called conserve? There's a word for it, I think, possibly. Can you ask for the water on the side? Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. You have to ask for it. Kind of like some places you have to ask for, some places you have to ask for straws. And a lot of places they got rid of bags, disposable bags. You have to bring your own bags and stuff. I mean, that's good though. That helps the environment, the reusable bags. I just worry about germs because you have to probably wash them eventually. It's not wasted. Yes. Yes, eat the bags. No, Small, you're just trying to eat everything. Small, you're trying to eat everything. Yeah, join us. What? When I used to waitress, I used to say, this round's on me when I brought water to the table. I love that, Miss Chen. That's adorable. I bet you got lots of like laughs from that. They're like, that's funny. Sending nice, clean water back into the sewers. Okay, geez. Tatum pancake. I'll put the dirtiest, poisonous water in the sewers. Jeez. No. I don't think you're supposed to do that either. Sandman, I just eat all the food. I used to try to. I want to though. I want to eat all the food. Let's see here. Water is gross. I can never find a type that tastes nice. It is challenging to find good tasting water sometimes. Like Fuji water is delicious, I think. What else is really good water? Mainly Fuji water, I think is really good, really good tasting. Top shelf. That is top shelf. Thank you. That's all we needed. Miss Janasenko says, I'm also just, wait, I used to put the bill in front of the child at the table. That's trollish. That's trolling. The poor kid's like, I don't got any money. I can't pay for this. Give the kid a little bit of anxiety. There you go, Miss Janet. Tatum Beans. No, not Tatum. Ham and beans. Words start with the same T name. Mix words up. I love all waters. Hose water is my favorite. You gotta be careful. Might be well water sometimes. I don't think you can drink that. I guess you could, but it'd be dangerous, right? Some of the tastes warm or makes my throat dry, and it's terrible. Aww. Yeah, you have to kind of like water. Yeah, the water from the hose hits different. It's got all those vitamins and minerals and all kinds of things and metal flavors. It's delicious. Your house has? Can you drink without it being, did you filter the well water? I'm not sure if you can drink it immediately, can you? It's got electrolytes? Yes, the hose water's got electrolytes. Now, Laura, sometimes I get the flavor drops to put in the water. That helps. Oh yeah, that's helpful too. That's why I put lime in my water. I tried some flavor drops, and some of them are good, but some of them have aspartame, and that sometimes irritates your stomach. Sometimes people can't take that stuff. I have well water too. I don't drink it. It's a little stinky. What is that? What is that called? That's called something when it's stinky. Oh, what is it? Like in Florida, I think some Florida water is stinky. It has Is it like the egg smell, I think, or something like that? Sulfur. Dragons sometimes are around sulfur. No offense, Soul. I don't know if you're around sulfur, but sometimes old school dragons hang out places that are very sulfur smelling. It's kind of eggy. That's it. Sulfur, yep. That's the sulfur smell. Not this dragon. Sulfur is stinky. Okay, that's fair, Soul. I'm not a huge fan of sulfur smells either. I mean, if I was a dragon. Hammy Beans, ours is tested. It's okay. It's from way under the ground in the Sierra. Ooh, blank water. I don't know. Why is it censoring? Are you censoring it? Then I take your word for it. Yes, that's very cool, Tammy. That sounds very fancy. My Florida water isn't stinking, but I'm... Well, but you're what? Now... Let's go play a game. I mean, it's fun talking to all you, though. It's just funny. Okay, sorry. No sniffing, Small. No sniffing, okay? I love sulfur. Axolotl. Axolotl. You know, also smells like sulfur sometimes. Demons. Slayer says, my water should smell next to nothing. If it smells strong, it's sus. That's fair. That's fair. Ad break ends in 30. Oh, did the ad just trigger? I think most of you are subscribed though. Except Miss Janet Snakehole. Why aren't you? I'm just kidding. Most of you are immune to the ad break stuff. You ready to play some Pictionary? Dun 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 dun. Unless you're not, you don't want to play. Axolotl says yes. No unknown muse.
_muse gifted Miss Janet Snakehole a subscription. Unknown_muse gifted a tier 1 sub to Miss Janet Snakehole.
Oh my gosh.
They have given 271 gifts.
271! Unknown muse, listen, thank you very much for that. That's very kind of you. Thank you. That's too many though. Thank you very much. There you go, Miss Janet Snakehole. You got the Ziggbee boost. Okay, let's see the what does it say? Paige Mustang. I like how all three of y'all are in the 270s. Because a lot of them are OGs from a long time ago. They've been doing this kind of behavior for a while now. Let me see. We'll try the first word. Hopefully everything works correctly. It usually does, but you never know with technology. Let's see here. Go to, let's see, next. Which one do I want to go to? We'll go start with this one. Ready to give it a try? Ready to give this a try. I should get a pen. I'm going to erase my abstract art, though, so it's clean slate. If I can clear it. We're in pencil. What are you doing? I'm going to grab the orange pencil. Okay. Whoa! And I'll draw right over here, probably. Good luck, everybody. Good luck. I don't know if this will be good or not. It's only going to be like 6 words, so it's not going to be anywhere near as many words as it was last week. Orange. I think we're all ready. Okay. Good luck. Good luck. Oh, wait, I got to open one more thing, too. Wait. Because some of you might get upset about words and stuff, about what I chose for the words. Where did I put that thing at? Hold, please. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. Open this up. Where does it pop up at? Probably the other side. Boop, boop, boop. Where's my words? Oh, there it is. It's so small, though. Well, I can tell you what they are when I do it, so you know that there's more than one word for some of them. Okay, here we go. So it's like, so it's good, hopefully. We'll see if it's good or not. Give me the pencil. Give me the pencil. Start the round. Woo. I should do a different, like. Let's do that. So we'll do this. Not this. Let's see here. I'm gonna do just another one. 5, 6, 8, 1. So it would be this one, not this one. No. These are separate steps. Maybe this is too mathematical. I'm feeling bad and guilty. Let me see what you're guessing though. Let's see here. Correct, none, none, correct, highest, even, close, close. Does anyone know math things like this would be, someone got it already. Min, what would this be? I think that's the only math one, okay? I gotta diversify. The answer is max. So also I put in there maximum, because that's sometimes also called maximum. So in mathematics, you have the minimum, you have the min, or the max, the maximum. You also have the average and also the middle, the literal middle number too. So good job, everybody. The answer was max. Whoa, whoa. I'll put this over here, okay? Next word, or next prompt. Missed it. What? I forgot math. It's okay. The other ones should be easier. That should be easier, hopefully. Okay. How do I do the next one? Hide that score, and then start the round. Oh, I didn't show the scores for that. I'm sorry. I skipped it already. We'll have to continue now. I'm sorry. I forgot things. Okay. What is this one? There we go. Is that pretty good? That kind of makes sense. Hopefully here I'll make it more 3D, and I'll put like a grass. Huh? It's corn. No, it's not corn. It's a well. I also put in water well with a space because it's also that. So that's actually what we were talking about earlier, is wells. I'm getting water from wells like Tammy Beans has. Well, what does that say? Well, well, well. I almost put wishing well, Noah, in the word list. But yeah, it was just well and water space well I did. Let's see how we did for that. Let's for that round. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, a lot of you got it. That's really good. I like it when a lot of you got it, so it's not too hard and stuff. First place is Solar. Second place, there's 3 of you. There's Peachring Rat Small, Miss Janet Snakehole. In 4th place, there's 1, 2, 3 of you. There's Nazgulud. Hey, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your name sometimes. Sandman and Anastasia Rose. Good job, everybody. Good job. We're gonna hide that score. That's the second word. Why are we laughing in chat? What's going on here? Oh, I'm up there. That's good. That's good. Woohoo! Woohoo! Woo! Okay, that's next word. We got 4 more. Well, your chance to be pictured champion of the week. I think Paige Mustang has been champion of the week for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks for a long time. Next prompt. Okay. Start the round. Start the round. Okay, we go down. That makes sense. I should draw more over that direction, honestly. It looks like a very abstract thing. Let's see. I didn't put just that word though. I put that's howler, like someone like that dog is a howler because likes to howl. I also put howl in there, HOWL as well. If you guessed that as well, so both of those things were entered. Now there's multiple words. It's okay though. Show me the score for howl or howler. Show me the round scores. We have quite a few still. We have Solar and also Anastasia Rose and Zaza Ferret, all first place on that one. And then second place is Peachring Rat, and third place is Tama Beans. Tama Beans, you there? See? You got on there, that's good. No, unfortunately, I didn't have howling. I probably should have put that too, honestly. That would probably be a better word than howler, honestly. I put a woo before howl. That's a good, appropriate response, Solar. A very good response to put that. That's what I would think too, possibly. High the scores for that. Next one, I think this is 4, I think, right? Next prompt. Start the round. Or maybe it's, I don't know which number we're on. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I'll go over here. And then I would draw like a hand and a person. And then how do you do this? Wait, what? How did you get it so fast? How did you get it so fast? Did I spell TikTok right? I was gonna draw a clock too to see if that helped, like a grandfather clock. But I didn't. I probably should have drawn the grandfather clock first. Kyle
73 just resubscribed for 28 months. Ziggbee Pride.
It's a selfie. Actually, yeah, you're right. It's a selfie. When you hold the phone, take a picture of yourself. It's a selfie. Though, if you give it to your friends and take a picture of yourself for you, that's not a selfie technically. Thank you, Kyle73, for resubscribing. 1 month tier 1 and being subscribed for 28 months. Thank you very much for resubscribing. Boing. 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 Boing, boing, boing. Boing. Sorry. Okay. Oh, let's see the results for that. Before I get too distracted. Show the round scores for TikTok. Oh, there's only 3 of you that got it. Interesting group that got it too. Let's see here. The first place is Small. The second place is Tatum Pancake. And third is Unknown Muse. Good job, all 3 of you. Kind of strange that you 3 got it and no one else did. Small. Oh, what does the Solar say? Me thinks the other 2 hear Small say it in voice chat, so cheats. No. No. There's no cheating. I literally put the words in a few minutes before stream. I didn't tell anyone or anything, unless you guys are secretly trying to figure out stuff in chats or something. I didn't say it. See, Small didn't say it. I think we all thought selfie. Yeah, that's fair. That did look like a selfie. I should have started with the clock, honestly. Let's go to hide the score for that. Let's see what the next one is. Next prompt. Okay, that's okay. Okay, okay, I'll do this one. Ready? Start the round. Start the round. Sorry, this one's probably hard too. Okay. Let's see here. We'll do this. The smiley face. Put like a horn there. Probably like a chair. I don't know. Let's see here. Oh, I need to draw more for that though. Yeah, I was doing like stream. That's not the only word I added though. There's multiple words I put there. Streaming or streamer I put in words. So yeah, I was should have put an arrow at the person like they're streaming, like oh they're the webcam and they're being sent to like a Twitch or YouTube or something. That's very similar to TikTok one. So it's around the same thought. I'm always thinking TikTok and like, why don't I throw a streamer on there too for fun? Show me the round scores for streamer or streaming. A few of you got on there, not a lot. I know that's kind of a harder one too, actually. First place for that is I'm gonna say Tammy. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. Tatum Pancakes. First place for that one. Second place is Nazgulud. Sorry if I say your name wrong. And then third is Small. There you go. Good job. Also, Solar's on there. Unknown. Anastasia Rose, Paige Mustang. Okay, hide the scores for this. I think we might have just one more word. Is it okay we have just one more word? What are people saying in chat? Anastasia Rose saying forbidden things. Okay. We have Paige Mustang saying only beans. Yes, that is permitted, I think. Tammy Beans, I'm never gonna win, but at least you say my name. I say your name a lot, Tammy Beans. Tammy Beans. Tammy Beans. I yell it sometimes like that, see? Ready for the last word? This will be the last word for the evening for Pictionary. Good luck, everybody. Good luck. Let's see the next prompt here. Okay. This is the last word. Like that. Like this. Boop. Or like... Well, can I do that one thing too? I could go like that. And like this. I drew this one kind of not too good though. I think some of you know what I'm trying to say. There's more than one word. There's more than one word. Let me tell you what the words are. Just so you know. It's secret. Or like mystery, like Illuminati, question, magnifying glass. So it's secret or mystery is what I was trying to convey for the answer. Let's see how it did with the scores for that round with secret or mystery. We have first place, we have Solar. Good job, Solar, very impressive. I think Solar might be winning, honestly. Second place is Peachring Rat. And also second place is Unknown Muse, and third place is Tatum Pancakes. So these words are kind of hard for some of you, I'm sorry. Let me see what chat's saying before I tell you who the winner is. Winner is Secret Society. That would have worked too, yeah. Secret Tom Cruise, yes. Secret out so well, then failed at the end. I wonder why it's so hard the week. It has been pretty hard, hasn't it? Like last week there's a lot of words, and now this week it's kind of like, yeah, it's a little bit hard kind of sometimes. I should really do easier, more normal words that aren't sus and strange. My tiny ferret brain doesn't comprehend these words. It's okay, Zazu Ferret. It's okay, Zazu. Who's the winner of Pictionary this week? Show me. I'll erase this first. Our secrets. We're gonna hide the secrets in plain sight. We're gonna make it disappear. All right, there we go. Show me the winners of this week's Pictionary, which I think might be Solar. We'll see though. Show me the game scores. I was correct. Close behind. First place is Solar. Solar is the winner this week for Pictionary. Second place is Unknown Muse, congratulations, Unknown Muse. And third place is Anastasia Rose. Good job. Honorable mentions is also Smalls on there. Petring Rat, Tatum Pancakes, Naz Gulud, Zaza Ferret, Miss Janet Snakehole, Tama Beans, The Sandman, Noah, Mount Laurel, Strawberry, Teen Bean, Paige Mustang, and Lolly Locky. Lolly Locky. If I'm saying that right. I apologize if I say names wrong or anything like that. Good job, Solar. You are the winner. You are the champion of this week. Was that fun? Those words too hard though. Was it too hard? Probably a little bit. Yes, good job, guys. Good job. No sound today. What? Dang. No soundboard today. I tried. Wait. Soundboard. How does that work? Wait, I don't know. Actually, I forgot how you do soundboard. Do I need to be in Discord? Wait, let me think here. Soundboard. Thinking. I don't. You might spam it if I go there. Then I don't have what is it called? Discord open. Do I? Open Discord. And then what do I go to? I have to go to that one chat probably, right? Oh, let's see here. Oh, you're there. I'll go there and then unmute Discord. Give it a try, Sandman, if you want. Wee woo, wee woo. What do you wee wooing mean? No, just kidding. Can I do the soundboard too? I gotta carefully touch though. Is it working? We may have to join the. I have to join the channel, don't I? Okay, I'm not joining the channel. Come on, get in the channel. Why can't I join my own channel? Click on it. I'm sorry, Sam. I can't seem to join the channel. I'm trying to do it from virtual reality, from VR, so it's probably not working. I see you in the channel though. Let me in. Let me go in the. Let me go in the. Over here maybe. If I click on this screen, will this well? I can click on the edit thing. Let me open the entire window. Oh, maybe. Oh, there we go. Do you hear that? Quack, quack. Quack, quack. Oh, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for the claps. Now it works, Sandman. I had to open it and join the channel. There we go. Worth it. Love it when you yell like that. No, you want me to yell for... Redeems. Oh, what? Oh, there are redeems, aren't there? Oh, what is the latest one? Paige Mustang Ziggbee. Can you do berries and Wait, who's that character? Do I know that person? Let me look closely. I don't know who that is. Do you want me to really do berries and cream, Paige Mustang? Do you really want me to do that? Do you really want me to do that? If you want me to do berries and cream in chat, I see Small saying do it. You don't have to. Well, I'll get peer pressure. Let's see if we get peer pressure enough. We all want it. That's 3 that want it. Oh yes, that's 4 technically, isn't it? Peer pressure. Okay. I'm gonna mute the audio briefly.
Not salute cheered X100. Do it.
Trying to bribe me too. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Ready? I've done this so long. I don't know how long this. I don't know the last time I did it. I mean, we can do this for real. Give me a second here. Give me a second. This is serious business. All right. Here we go. Let's see. How do I do it? Wait, what's one part? Okay, let's just try it, okay? I can't do it. I don't know if I can do it. Okay. Hopefully Sip's not listening. Berries and cream, berries and cream. I'm a little ferret that likes berries and cream. Do I jump back and forth? I think so. Berries and cream, berries and cream. I'm a little ferret that likes berries and cream. Indeed, wows. Much wows. That was spectacular. Okay. Enough of that nonsense. Noah, you want me to hydrate? I will hydrate for you, okay? I'll get some water because I am a little thirsty. All right, I'm gonna drink some water, okay? Thank you. You're welcome, Paige Mustang. You're welcome. Delicious. Delicious. Thank you for the hydrate. Also, we have a redeem for Peach Ring. Rats wants Mr. Ziggbee. Are we ever going to get a grunty kick redeem? You know, I really need to do that. I'm very lazy though. I'm very lazy. Where can you put it? Can you put it in Discord somewhere? Thank you, Sandman. We need to put it in Discord somewhere to remind me. Where would you put it in? Put it in channel somewhere. Just say, you can at me for this. At me and say, Ziggbee, make a redeem for Kiki so I can remember when I'm not streaming. We have a group hug from New York Bear 87. Group hug. Come here. Come here. Anybody wants hugs? We'll give you hugs. That's a redeem that's been requested from New York Bear. There you go. You get a big hug, okay? Anybody who wants one, you can have one. There you go. I'm very proud of all you, okay? There you go. I'll give you little ferret hugs. Boings requested by Tammy Beans. Boing. That was super cursed though. Boing. 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 There you go. Boing right at you. There. I get boings. Also, Noah wants boings too. Boing. 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 I can't do it too much, and people think I'm a rabbit though. I can't do it too much though. Dazzle Stars, Zazzy Fair. Okay, I got some bad news.
What the dog doing?
I don't know where the dog is. I can't do Dazzle Stars right now. It's a temporary limitation. Don't worry, I'm safe. I know basic level spells still, but I can't do Dazzle Stars. I'll refund you, sorry, Zazzy Ferret. Temporarily disabled. Prevented me from doing it. Ziggbee lost his magic. Oh no! No, don't say it. No, 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 no. No, no, no. We're not gonna jinx Ziggbee. I still have much magic, okay? I have much magic, all right? No worries about that. The stock of stars, kind of. No, that's sus. It's not sus, Sandman. No magic. Time to steal. No, don't steal me. Don't revolt. Jeez, just because I don't have magic, you're all gonna pounce and attack. Oh my gosh, Ziggbee, is it magically? No, I'm very magical. I'm talking clearly. I'm very magical. You see my sweater? It sparkles. Oh my gosh, I defend myself. Grab the net. Wow, it's time for me to go, everybody. Ziggbee, can we go on the train? A train again? Did you see the train? Boing, boing. Yeah, we can go on the train a little bit if you really want. Oh my gosh, what if someone is vanquishing? No, it's vanquishing me. No spells means no picking on those dragons again. Oh my gosh, everyone's revolting. When you have temporary no powers, all the ranks break, it looks like. Ziggbee lost his stars and I lost my sweater. It's been a rough year. Very true, Zazzy Ferret.
Emotional damage.
Thank you, Sandman, for that. That was very appropriate too. Let me look for a train really quick, and then I want to go to the tower defense place and probably lightly play, because you can yeet things there. You can yeet NPCs. Train, show me the train. I could probably find a different train too. These are, what is that? Oh, that one's not fun. I think I went to that one. It just goes really fast. Seasonal local train. That looks kind of cool. What is this one? Do these work though, or are they just for show? We'll go and find out actually. Let's check out some stuff for fun. Oh yeah, that cool Be Right Back. Where is it? Wait. I used it once last week. Oh no, where is it? Okay, go to live here. And where's the Be Right Back? There you go. No Solar, I did not update it yet. I'm very lazy. Definitely not out of Dazzle Stars, just the place he's at. Dazzle Stars are temp disabled. Yes, thank you, Sky, exactly. It is like that sometimes. Sometimes where you go, you can't do Dazzle Stars a little bit, typically. You usually can though, but you can't, yes. Thank you for giving me an answer. Why is this place lagging me so bad?
A few moments later.
Oh no. It keeps like, are we good? Are we good, world? What's so bad about this world? It's so glitchy. Okay, never mind, that's okay. Oh, the lighting here is fantastic. Okay, I can't move. Hello, can anyone see me? I think this world broke me. No, did it really break me? Can anyone hear me still or no? Moving at 2 frames. Can I get out of here somehow? The bonk is not helping, Sandman. What I can do is, let's see here. What is breaking exactly? Aside from everything. If I can I click the Be Right Back, or is the stream like, oh my gosh. Go ahead, no. Oh, my back? Wait. Nope. So close. What I might have to do is close this. We'll do right back if it works.
I'm in danger.
Now that might correct. Okay, can I move that up? No. So what we're gonna do is I will wait. Did that fix it? Wait. I might need to jump out of this world quickly. No, the wrong button. No, wrong button again. Where's the button thing? Okay. That's jumping, Ziggbee. That's how you jump. Oh, whoop. Wait, maybe I have to tap it. Tap it. No, that's not helping. I'll reload it really quick and see if we can get back in here. Big oof. The biggest of oofs. Here's some stars to help. Okay, now I have to reopen this. I think you can still hear me though. VR chat's now loading. Thank you, Page Mustang, for the stars. Thank you, Zazzy Ferret. By the way, Zazzy Ferret, I'm the longest ferret, by the way, just to remind you. The world was too much for the little ferret to handle. Clearly, something was wrong. Very wrong with that world. Okay, am I back in the world now? Let's see. I'm going to stretch out the window. Kind of small. Why is my window so small? If I turn this... Okay, I should get in there first before I do that. I think it might be something to do with my overlays and seeing windows inside of VR chat. That causes issues sometimes. Woo! Yeah, we can hear you. Thank you, Zazzy Ferret. Quick, someone steal a leprechaun so we can give it magic to Ziggbee. Well, I'm not opposed to that per se. Is it my overlay that's the problem? What is happening? I'm in the right now I'm in the therapeutic garden. It's not helping though. Maybe I have to close. Maybe I'll close my overlay too. It could be doing a lot of processing that's doing something wrong. And that function, turn that off. There we go. Nope, it's still buggy. What if I turn this on? Can you see stuff?
It is what it is. It is what it is.
That's weird. In VR, I can't really function, but it can kind of show. How does that look? Is that cursed? Well, everybody, Ziggbee not opposed to sacrificing leprechaun. No, we're not talking about that soul. Zazzy Ferret emotes coming soon. That would be awesome, Zazzy Ferret. Okay, everybody, listen. I think that's it for today. I don't know how to fix this. It's broken. Well, it's almost been an hour streaming, so that's been pretty good, right? I think that's fair. I think that's fair, right? Thank you, Sandman. Thank you for the claps. Yeah, this is my perspective. You can see where I'm looking. I'm very small, as you can see. I'm at the floor level, so that's how I see things. We have moments. No worries. Well, everybody, I'll head out. I can't really show you myself zooming because everything's broken. I don't know what's wrong. Hopefully see you next week, probably Monday. We'll see though. If I ever do anything different, I will. You see my? Oh, you can see my controllers. I'll see you hopefully Monday. Have a great weekend. Thank you for hanging out. I hope you had fun, and congratulations to Solar for being the Pictionary champion of the week. Sorry, I'm probably making everyone dizzy by doing that. I shouldn't do that. Yeah. Goodbye, everybody. I'm heading out. Sorry that it was cut kind of short. I'll see you again soon. Goodbye, everybody. Bye, everybody.